If I were starting a lead generation agency from absolute zero in 2024, these are the exact steps I would take. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what exactly I would do if I was a beginner again 4 or 5 years ago, starting from absolute zero. If I wanted to sign my first client and get all the way up to $200,000 a year, like I did with my agency, as soon as possible. I'm gonna get right into this stuff. I'm not gonna fluff around and give you guys a lot of BS information. I'm gonna get right into the nitty-gritty of exactly what I would do if I had to start over. So here it is, guys. All right, guys, let's get right into this stuff. So as I said, if I was starting a lead generation agency in 2024 from absolute scratch, this is what I would do. So step one is you need to learn the fundamentals behind the model. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'll kind of just breeze by this because if you're watching this, you probably know what lead generation is. But for those of you who don't, let me actually just give you a brief intro. So what is cold email? Okay, so basically, to put it as simple as possible, cold email is an outreach mechanism or a way to do outreach that is going to turn a stranger who has no idea who you are into a potential customer. That is the goal of a cold email. It's to turn someone who doesn't know what your product or service is and get them interested in your product or service, interested enough to hop on a sales call with you to buy your product or service. Okay, that is what cold email is, and that is what cold email does. Now, who needs cold email? Every single B2B business out there would benefit from cold email, which tells us that every single B2B company is a potential client of ours, okay? Every single B2B company can benefit from cold email. So marketing agencies, tech companies, manufacturing companies, consulting companies, energy companies, mining, oiling companies. There's so many companies out there that could benefit from B2B cold email lead generation. If they're in B2B, cold outreach would work for them because that is the way that they're getting clients. A lot of the way that these companies get clients is doing cold outreach, like cold calling. So that's that, okay? The fundamentals. Now, step two, if I were starting a lead generation agency, right after learning the fundamentals of how it works, I would go right into building my cold email system. Now, instead of starting with an offer, building campaigns and all that stuff, I would build my cold email system first because number one, the technical stuff is kind of annoying to set up at first, right? And it's going to take you 14 days to warm up your emails anyway to be able to send, right? So you want to get that stuff out of the way first so that you could do everything after, okay? So number two is build your cold email system. How would I build my cold email system? Very, very simple. Okay. I would purchase 10 domains. Okay. I would purchase 10 domains and then I would get 20 email accounts. So 2 email accounts per domain. So I'd have 20 email accounts that I could send cold emails from. Okay. And then I would get a subscription to a software called smartlead.ai. Okay. Now smartlead.ai is basically just an email sending platform. I've talked about it in a lot of my videos. All right, guys, you guys can go through my other videos. I talk about it a lot. I think it's the best software out there for cold email sending. Okay. And then you want to basically warm up your emails for 14 days. So all your emails are going to be warming up for 14 days. So while this is happening in the background, you just get it out of the way so you could focus on the other stuff. Okay. Now, in the meantime, while this cold email system is warming up, what you're going to do is you're going to build outreach campaigns. Now, how are you going to build outreach campaigns? Okay. Number one is you're going to have to start with an offer, okay? What are you offering? How are you packaging this lead generation service, right? So the best way to do it and the best way for anyone to get started, the way I got started too, and the way that I teach all my students in my program to get started is pay per meeting in a specific niche, okay? So what you want to do this is you have to go a little bit deeper in 2024, right? It's not 2021. You can't just send 1,000 emails to these companies and everyone responds. You got to get into the weeds with this stuff. So how to do that is you want to figure out what a company's definition of a lead is, all right? Because every single industry and business has a different one. For example, a fintech SaaS company that sells to banks and insurance companies, a lead for that company is going to be a decision maker at a bank, an insurance company. Okay, that's what their definition of a lead is for them. That's what if you want to generate a lead for them, a lead would be a decision maker at a bank and insurance company. Okay, so another example, a real estate CRM that sells to brokerages and real estate firms. Right, a lead for them is going to be a decision maker at a brokerage and real estate firm. Okay, so these two companies want different things, right? Not just leads, but what is a lead for that specific company? All right. So it's 2024 now, guys. Like, we're going to have to dig a little bit deeper to make money. If you want to resonate with these companies, you have to dig a little bit deeper and figure out exactly what they want. What is the definition of a lead to them? So don't just go and say, hey, like, I'll get you 10 leads on a pay-per-call basis. If you're reaching out to you could reach out to a bunch of different fintech SaaS companies who target banks and insurance companies. You could say, hey, I can connect you to 10 decision makers at banks and insurance companies every single month. That's going to stand out to them so much more than someone just saying, hey, I could provide you 10 leads. Does that start to make sense? This is some sauce, guys. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is some good value right here. Now, lead list. The next thing you want to do is you want to use Apollo.io to create a lead list. All right. I have a whole in-depth video on how to do this, guys. So I won't go through this here, but I'll link it in the description below, guys, if you want to watch that. And then again, email copy. All right. And that's next. 4-step email sequences. You want to keep them under 100 words. And again, guys, I have a full video on this as well. I'm going to link it in the description as well on how to write copy, everything about cold email copy. Okay. Now, step 3 is done. Now, what is step 4? Launching campaigns and setting appointments. All right. So now after, guys, this 2-week period is up, we could actually launch campaigns. So in this meantime, you should be doing market research, even doing cold calling, doing LinkedIn messaging, but you build your outreach campaign so that you could scale up fast. Okay. You want to have like 3 or 4 campaigns ready to go. Okay. So we want to launch on Smart Lead. Okay. You want to launch your campaigns on Smart Lead. And then after this, you want to set appointments to interested replies. So we need to turn these interested replies into booked meetings. All right. It's not enough just to send emails. All right. You have to turn interested replies into booked meetings. And again, guys, don't send calendar links. All right. Don't send calendar links. I've mentioned this in many of my videos before. That's why I'm saying again, guys, do not send calendar links. They don't work. I always say this in my tweets and in my Instagram shorts. Don't send calendar links. Here's the best way to frame it if a prospect is interested, okay? So, hey, first name, sounds great. Does Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time work for you? Let me know and I can send an invite over. Or if it's easier for you, you can pick whatever time works best for you from my calendar link. And then you insert your link. Let me know what works best. What this does is it actually shows them that you're putting in some effort to like schedule on a time manually. Because if you just send them a link, hey, pick a time here, they're not going to pick a time 50% of the time. I can't tell you how many times I've made the mistake, or I've had students make a mistake with like, hey, I don't want to put in the extra work. I don't know why, but they don't want to put in the extra work. And then they end up getting ghosted by the prospect. You don't want to get ghosted by the prospect. All right. You want to get sales calls with the prospect. The best way to do that, send a manual time and give them the option. If it's easier for them, send them the link. All right. This is going to save you guys a lot of headache of getting ghosted. Okay, guys, I'm telling you, take this value. Now, step 5. Take sales calls and close your first deal. All right, guys. So now you're sending cold emails. You're getting interested replies. You're converting those interested replies into sales calls. Now you need to take sales calls. You need to close those deals. All right. So the way the sales process works is, number 1, you're starting with discovery. All right. You start with discovery. You ask questions. You probe for pain, right? Oh, why do you need lead generation? What are you doing for getting leads right now? Have you thought about hiring any sales reps? Why don't you hire some sales reps, right? These are things that are going to invoke pain in the prospect, especially for a lead generation offer. All right. So the thing is, the offer is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting here, right? If they need more leads, it should be a no-brainer to work with us, right? So, but you need to do these calls anyway and ask them these questions and make them feel the pain. So if they have pain and they need your help, you go for the close. Just go for it. Go for that. Right? But if they need time to think, which a lot of people do, especially in the B2B sector, right? You're going to build them a proposal and you're going to set up another call. Now, guys, I don't know how many times I'm going to state this, but you always need to get next steps. Always. You need to have something on the calendar. I don't care what is going on. I don't care what they say. If they say they're not going to make a decision on that call, you get another call booked on the calendar. Always. You never let a prospect go without getting another call booked on the calendar. Okay. I don't care. I'm being so serious. Because once they're off and they're not on the calendar, they're gone. They're as good as gone. I've seen it and I've had it happen to me so many times, guys. Get next steps. All right. And then if they have next steps, it's going to be a proposal and a demo call. Okay. Or a closing call. You're going to create a slide. You're going to create a proposal deck on Google Slides, PowerPoint, whatever. You're going to repeat their problems back to them in slide format. And then you're going to make a visual deck on how you're going to help solve these problems. And then you're going to present pricing. And then you're going to do a Q&A. And then you're going to present the contract to them. You're going to send actually the contract over to them after you do the discovery call so they can look it over in the meantime. So that they don't have the opportunity to be like, oh, hey, we're just going to review the contract and get back to you next week. No, you send them a contract after discovery call so they can come to it with questions. All right. You present the contract, you go over the contract, you do a Q&A about the contract, whatever you need to do, you close that deal. 2 calls, 3 calls max. All right. But you always want to get next steps. All right. You always want to make sure you have next steps so that no matter how long it takes, you always have next steps on the phone. Okay. On the calendar. So what I would do in terms of pricing is you could take like a $2,000 to $4,000 setup fee and $300 to $400 per call. It's like a really good starting point. It's like around what I did for my first client. My first client, I charged them $2,000 setup fee and $350 per call. Okay. Now, step 6 is getting them results and getting a case study. Okay. So getting them results. The first thing you want to do when you sign the client is you want to onboard them. Okay. You send them over an onboarding form, right? On the onboarding form, you want to figure out what's your client's ICP, what's their offer, and what are their case studies, all right? And you want to create a lead list based on their ICP of like 5,000 to 10,000 leads. And then you want to create 5 to 7 email campaign variations testing different variables. The different variables are going to be your offer, your case study, and your CTA. And you want to aim for a 0.3% meeting book rate. So that means if you get 3 meetings for every 1,000 leads, you have a winner and you can scale it. And if you can scale it, you add 10,000 leads to the campaign and you keep printing meetings, you keep booking meetings, you keep getting more domains, more email accounts, you just print meetings, because the more meetings you book, the more money you're going to make. Okay, guys, it's very simple here. And then after you get them results, so you're going to get a case study interview. So after you generate your client like 10 to 20 meetings a month and they've closed the deal and they've made some money, you get a case study interview. So you're going to ask your client, you're going to do like some sort of podcast or some sort of Zoom call that you record. And you're going to ask your client, what were they struggling with before they hired you? How many meetings were they getting before they hired you? How many meetings are they getting now? How's their pipeline looking? And how much money have they made since working with you? And would they recommend your service? Have they gotten an ROI from working with you? Okay. That's going to be really good for getting more clients. So that goes right into step 7. Okay. Leveraging the case study to sign more clients. So you're going to create a VSL, which is a video sales letter from that case study, and you're going to put it on your landing page. All right. A VSL is a video sales letter. It's basically a 4, 5, even 10, 20, 30-minute video on showing exactly what you do, who you do it for, who you've done it for, what your process is, how you differ from competitors, what your offer is, what your pricing is, and a CTA, which is going to try to get them to book a call with you. That's what a VSL is. I know I just went through that super breezy, but I'll make a whole other video about a VSL if you guys want. If you guys want a video on me breaking down how to make a VSL, you can comment that VSL. Comment VSL if you want me to make a video on how to do a VSL below, and I'll do that. Okay, guys. And then you want to reference that case study in your outreach. So, for example, let's say you help me. Let's say Can't Phase Me. Let's say that's a B2B business. Okay, so I just helped Can't Phase Me generate 20 meetings last month on a pay-per-call basis. Okay, so you send that to like a couple prospects that are in the same industry as me, and they know my name. They're gonna be like, oh wow, like he did that for him. Like I want him to do that for me too. Okay, so that's how you leverage case study in outreach. Now, step 8. Okay, so after you've done this, you should be able to scale to 5 to 8 clients pretty quickly. Okay, because what you want to do is you want to just take more sales calls, 5 to 10 sales calls a week minimum. And the way that you're going to be able to do that is you want to send 1,000 to 2,000 emails a day. Okay, and the way that you're going to do that is like having more domains, right? Having more email accounts and more domains and making sure they're healthy, making sure they're warmed up. You want to be sending 20 to 30,000 emails a month. Now, guys, just for the record here, there's absolutely no reason why you cannot send 100,000 emails a month. You just have to spend more on domains. And to be honest, you should probably do it because most people are not doing it. Do it. More volume is always going to win, guys. Okay, so that's step 8. Scale to 5 to 8 clients. Step 9, what am I going to do? 2024, I've scaled to 5 to 8 clients. What am I going to do now? Now I'm going to start to hire and systemize. I have 5, 8 clients. I can't do it myself anymore. I need people who are going to come in the business to do work in the business so that I could focus on scaling the business and work on the business. Okay. So what are these things? What are these key pieces and what are these key hires I need to make? Number one, I'm going to hire an inbox manager. These are going to handle all email replies for my clients. Number two, I'm going to hire a tech setup VA. These are the people who are going to set up, warm up all email domains and accounts for my clients so that I don't have to do that myself. I don't want to do the email technical stuff. I'm going to have someone else do that. Okay. I can hire someone from India, Pakistan, Philippines to do all that stuff for me for like $50, $100, okay, per account setup. Okay. And then I'm going to hire a campaign manager. What this campaign manager is going to do is they're going to scrape leads, they're going to build lead lists, and they're going to upload campaigns based on the onboarding form of your client. Okay. So they're going to make all the leads, they're going to verify the leads, they're going to build the lead list, and they're going to upload the campaigns into Smart Leads so that you don't have to do it. Okay. And then you're going to hire an SDR. This is probably one of the last things you're going to hire for, but it's very important. This is going to handle all the email replies for your internal outreach, okay, for your internal email sends. You're going to teach them how to cold call leads, warm calling interested leads, and this person, this SDR, is basically going to be your right-hand man, helping you grow the business and generate sales calls for you to close so that you could scale the business, okay? Because you don't want to be focusing on doing the little things in the trenches. You want to be focusing on scaling the business, and one of those things is going to be taking sales calls, okay? And then step 10 is going to be scaling to $20,000 a month, okay? How do we do this? All right, how did I do this? How would I do this if I had to start over from 2024? If I wanted to scale to 20K a month, guys, after I have 5 to 8 clients, I've hired and systemized, what I would do is I would pivot my offer. I would pivot my offer to a cold email system implementation plus consulting, right? So I would sign new clients at $15,000 to $20,000 for a 3-month commitment. That's what I'm doing for my agency now. That's how we're signing clients now, okay? And you're going to be able to do this because you're going to have more case studies. So when I had more case studies, I was able to charge more upfront because now I could show that, hey, I have social proof. I can do this for you, okay? So, or I would pivot my offer to a pay per lead instead of a pay per call. Because a pay per call, it's going to take a little bit more time. It's going to take a little bit more effort to get those calls booked in. But for a pay per lead, you can scale a lot faster because all you're going to be doing is sending over interested replies to your clients and charging them based on those instead of actually booking the calls into your calendar, right? Which is going to allow you to scale faster and hire less people and systemize faster and systemize more, all right? Or you could just pivot your offer to the growth partner, right? You could basically come into their business and do a lot more for them, right? You could do cold email. You could help them with sales. You could help them with VSL. You could help with the market research, customer research, helping them clean up their CRM, build automations, right? Email automations, back-end stuff, right? This is when you really start to become more of an expert and help them with more marketing stuff, with sales stuff, lead generation stuff, and you become a growth partner to them, right? And you charge them a higher retainer or a percentage of their revenue share or a commission on their deals closed. Okay, guys? All right, guys. So that was the no BS, no fluff way video on exactly how I would go from absolute zero to making over $200,000 a year if I was starting a lead generation agency in 2024. All right, guys. Now, if you got to this point of the video, you're probably really interested in starting a lead generation agency, right? You know, you've been watching my videos, you know, you've been watching a bunch of videos on YouTube, you know, you're really excited and you want to get started, but you haven't taken that jump yet. You know, you're probably working a 9-to-5 that you hate, you kind of want to have financial freedom, or you're in college and, you know, you don't want to work a 9-to-5 because you don't want to live a mundane life. You know, you want to have freedom. You want to be able to travel. You want to live the life that you want to live without having a boss. And you kind of want to transition out of that and find a vehicle that can actually make you income without having to be at your job from your laptop, guys. So if that's you and you want to learn how to take this business from zero to $200,000 in 1 year, starting in 2024, I'm opening up 5 spots to my mentorship program for this month where I'm actually holding your hand one-on-one, showing you guys exactly what I did and what you'll do in 2024 to go from absolute beginner to scaling and making a 6-figure business, guys. So if you're interested in that and you want to learn more about that and see what that's about, you can hit the link in the description below, guys. You can book a call with me. We'll hop on that call and we'll see if it's a good fit for you. Now, other than that, that's all I have for this video. I hope you got some value out of this video and I will see you in the next one.